Greetings. It's about time for another one of our monthly looks at what is going on in arm wrestling in the Northeastern Mid-Atlantic. Actually, it's about a week later than I normally have one of these things out, but there was nothing particularly going on that I know of this coming weekend anyway. And secondly, as you may have seen if you're friended with me on Facebook, I just spent the last extended weekend wandering around the Carolinas tournament in North Carolina and also visited a practice in South Carolina. I really don't want to say that much about that because this was the site in North Carolina of my challenge match with Hunter Welch, which didn't go particularly well for me. Hunter's a good guy. He's a rather strong guy, actually. And unfortunately, since his last tournament, he learned how to hit. And so, as I say, things didn't work out all that well. But on the other hand, I did get to meet a lot of folks that I had not met in person before and overall had a good time. Still, enough said about that. Let's forget about it and move on. This coming weekend, as I say, the weekend of the 21st, I don't know of anything particularly in the Northeast. A lot of folks, in fact, are resting up to get ready for the following weekend, where on the 28th of January is taking place the NuWay Combat and American Armed Sports Nationals. I had to write that one down to remember the entire name. This is taking place at the Tropicana Casino in Atlantic City. And it's, as the name suggests, it is not just arm wrestling. There are other martial arts sports as well. I'm not sure what exactly, to be honest with you. All I have heard jiu-jitsu mentioned, but it should be a rather interesting event. As far as the men's, or as far as the arm wrestling itself, men's will have both pro and amateur. Women also pro and amateur. Sometimes you don't have women's amateur. There are juniors, which I believe is up to age 17, masters at 49 plus, grandmasters 59 plus, and disabled category, although I'm not sure what exactly that last one involves. But this one I might add, however, this is a national tournament, and if you're thinking of participating and have not gone to any of the qualifiers, you might want to make sure that you are able to pull at that. As I understand it, you do have to qualify for this, although in many cases, particularly in amateur, in order to qualify, you didn't actually have to place at a tournament, but you had to attend one of their tournaments. But still, should be an interesting event, even if you're just going to spectate. So that, as I say, is the 28th of January. A week following that is the Buckeye Brawl on the 4th of February. This is in Toledo, the Toledo area, at a place called Jed's Barbecue and Brew. That is actually the same site that the Payday Pull took place that I attended back in August, on August 27th. And that will have a number of divisions as well, men's, amateur, and pro. Women's just pro. Women's is right hand only, although the men's, amateur, and pro is both right and left. An interesting thing about that tournament, which you don't see that often, is that for amateur it is triple elimination, possibly for pro as well, but it did specifically mention amateur triple elimination, which you normally don't see. I've been to some tournaments where they've been the pro and masters have been triple elimination, but it's the first time I've seen that for amateur. You can pre-register for that, and probably be a good idea if you did. You're going to save a pile of money because pre-registration is $25 per arm, whereas if you wait until you get there, it's $35. And so not only are you going to be asked to pay a little bit more, but if you are pre-registered and if you are in one of the heaviest weight classes in the division, you can basically show up a little bit later as long as they know you're coming and you don't have to be weighed in because you're in super heavyweight or in the heaviest women's division, which I'm not sure we're allowed to call that super heavyweight with the women, but in any event. So as I say, that is the 4th February. There will be some super matches with that as well, although I don't have any details on that in front of me. Speaking of super, the week after that, on February the 11th, is the Super Bowl of arm wrestling, so named because it takes place the day before the Super Bowl of football, which some of you may be particularly interested in. To be perfectly honest with you, the only sport I really care about is arm wrestling, so I basically tune into the Super Bowl for the last couple of minutes just so I didn't feel like a complete idiot the next day to not know who had won the darn thing. But But anyway, like I say, the Super Bowl of Arm Wrestling is on the 11th, and that is at the same location, Dad's Bar in Lumberton, New Jersey, where the New Jersey folks had the New Jersey Championships, which were sit down back in fall. This, however, will be the standard stand-up format, and basically there. Let's see, what do we have there? With $30 for the first arm, $25 additional. They do have amateur, pro, women's, once again pro only, and masters 50 plus. Although I believe all of those divisions are both right and left, including the women. As I say, that is on the 11th. Don't know anything on the 18th of February in this particular area, although the folks at the Super Bowl of Arm Wrestling have said that if they snowed out on the 11th, it is advertised that the snow date for the that will be rescheduled is next week on the 18th. The week following that, February the 25th, is the third annual Ohio Memorial Tournament. This is in Mason, Ohio, which is in the southwestern part of the state, somewhat north of Cincinnati. This is a fundraiser for cancer, and also referred to as Pulling for RJ. This one, they will have a kids division, starting with, I believe, the first division is under 8 years of age, going up to the teen division, which ends at 17. The kids division, including teens, and the women's are right arm only. The men's amateur and pro are both right and left, and they also do have a right and left masters, men's masters, 50 plus. Cost fairly inexpensive, $20 for per arm. The kids are $15. They are asking for a donation of $5 from the spectators for that one, because, as indicated, that is a cancer fundraiser for cancer. So that is what I know about for the month of remaining month of January and the month of February. Quite a bit going on in Ohio, actually. Two of those I mentioned tonight are Ohio, and of the 17 events that appear on the list, which is attached to this as usual, 7 of them are actually in Ohio. So I'm not sure if that's because Ohio is just grabbing some dates a little bit early, because some of those tournaments do stretch into the fall. But a good bit going out in Ohio, which of course we adopted as part of the Northeast at their request some time back, although I think probably the state of Ohio would consider themselves Midwest. So that's essentially it for, to say, January and February. Shouldn't leave without mentioning, of course, the Winter Blast, which, if you're not thinking about that, don't have that marked on your calendar yet, you really should. That's going to be the 11th of March and is going to be a big one. We'll talk more about that next month. But just suffice it to say here that last year we had 189 individual pullers and over 430 entries. We're expecting we may even be a little bit larger than that this year. And in fact, because of the expected size of the event, we had to move into a larger venue. We're going to be in a hotel ballroom up in Langhorne, which is in suburban Philly in north suburbs in Bucks County. So, like I say, if you haven't marked March 11th date on your date book yet on your calendar, certainly do so. So, in any event, hope to see you at one of those, and hope you're having a good winter.